Shaw, commitment to the cause, let's say that. No, well, Manchester United have made their stance very, very clear regarding Luke Shaw, and I think there's a bit of a cover-up going on. It's a bit of a joke, to be honest, and it's a bit of a another, like, what the hell is going on situation at Manchester United. We're going to talk about that mainly today. What is actually going on with Luke Shaw? Why are Manchester United not on top of this again? And we're going to cover up all the transfer updates with everything else going on as well. New bid going for Bramthwaite, according to Simon Jones. Well, what do you expect? The Sunday paper news is coming out, so we're going to get all the stupid stories coming about. We'll cover that as well if you want to. Obviously, we've heard enough about Bramthwaite and where we're at with that. I think that's been more than covered for Manchester United. And yeah, some people may tell you that we were actually in for Elise. Some people may say that it's actually a joke that Manchester United apparently put in a last-minute bid for Michael Elise. I'm just going to look at it and go, it's a nothing story. We called it nothing from the get-go. It's a player we didn't need, so let's leave it alone there. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Welcome along to the show. Portugal have won the Euros. Well, to be honest, they've been the best team in the Euros so far, and that squad looks absolutely immense. We're talking Luke Shaw's injury situation today. I think he can take a leaf out of the book of some of the Portuguese players, like Ronaldo, nearly hitting 40. Pepe, 40, fit as a fiddle, 290 minutes in a row. Bruno Fernandes, never injured. Dallo, never injured. You look at Bernardo Silva, never injured. These players are the perfect professional. The Portuguese players set the benchmark when it comes to longevity. When it comes for actual professionalism, they are outstanding. Something that cannot be said. And there's a lot that goes with how lucky you are in football with injuries and what happens. Luke Shaw definitely was not lucky with that leg break early in his career, and it's completely affected his career from that point. Yes, there've been other injuries, and it's not always been that issue with Luke Shaw. But we're talking right now, Manchester United. They've made their stance clear on the situation with Luke Shaw. They've been talking about Luke Shaw going to England. They're happy with England getting control of Luke Shaw in his rehabilitation, in his recovery. He's still training alone with the England squad. I mean, what was the point in taking him? Like, for Southgate anyway, to bring Luke Shaw in, I think is absolutely ludicrous. And it's another blotch on Southgate's tag, this for me, on his side. But, like, he's not playing the first two games. He's still not training with the first team squad for England. There's one more group game to go, and he's not going to be fit for that against Slovenia on Tuesday night. Then you're into the knockout. So you're going to throw a guy in that's not played for 4 or 5 months into a pressure cooker situation game where it's knockout football international tournament. That's his first game back. No thanks. If I'm Ten Hag now, and I'd be disappointed if Ten Hag isn't doing this, I'd be giving a call to the England squad and I'd be saying, get that guy back home right now. Don't even think about ruining this season. I don't care about Southgate's career at bleeding England. I don't give a shit about it right now. All I care about is Manchester United. If Ten Hag's got anything about him, he'll be on that blower, he'll be on that phone, he'll be making Manchester United make calls to England and saying, get Luke Shaw back home right now. Get him home and don't even try thinking about getting him ready for coming into these knockout stages. It was a joke that the man's gone in the first place. It's a joke that they're even trying to think of squeezing him into the knockout games. That's not fair on him. And it's not fair on Manchester United and Ten Hag, really. I mean, Ten Hag has been moaned all season about the injuries. We've gone on about it enough. And Luke Shaw's been a big part of that. 15 games last season Luke Shaw was available for. And Ten Hag on that side of it, I can't argue against it. He's got a point with Luke Shaw. And you're about to squeeze this man back into an international game, his first game back in 4 months, under the situation that Southgate has built at England, where everybody's under scrutiny and everybody's pressured to actually put in a performance. And you're going to expect Luke Shaw to actually start turning up trees and performing back to where he was before. It's an absolute farce. It's an absolute joke that you're trying to get Luke Shaw back into that England side. And to be honest, I look at the Luke Shaw situation now and I just go, for Manchester United, honestly, I feel like giving up with him. I hate to say it, but I just feel like giving up. Where does Luke Shaw go from here? I mean, honestly, come on, seriously. Luke Shaw, right now, I feel is in an impossible, absolutely impossible situation. You look at his contract situation. He's got a contract in till June, end of June 2027. He is what? He's 28 now. He's coming to the end. Manchester United need to make a decision. And do you know what? I'm not saying, like, I'm not going to just jump in there and say sell Luke Shaw. Like, I don't think anyone's going to take Luke Shaw this summer simply because no one freaking knows what's wrong with the man. Like, seriously, he cannot stay fit. 15 games is an absolute joke. There's been so many times through Luke Shaw's career where he's not managed to hit 30 games in a season or start 30 games in a season. That's like a bare minimum. For Manchester United and what we need right now and the consistency that's needed at the football club, Luke Shaw needs to be fit for at least 40 games in a season. He has managed it a couple of times, but it's few and far between. It's a season on and a season off again. He can't handle it. Luke Shaw is supposedly one of these players that's unsure about his position and his job under Ten Hag as well. This is a problem area for Manchester United. And for us to just let him go to England just like that, I mean, yeah, they're in constant communication with England about Luke Shaw's injury situation and his recovery and his rehabilitation. I don't care. United should be taking charge of this and just saying no. Because all England are doing is forcing him back to a situation where it's being rushed and he's not fully ready. This happened to him last season. He's come out in an interview and said it's his fault for saying that he wanted to play for Ten Hag when he should have said, I'm not ready. He blamed the medical staff and himself. I sort of blamed Ten Hag a bit, but you cannot blame the manager when a player says I'm fit and his medical staff says he's fit. So that's not on Ten Hag, that bit. But for him to be forced into this situation and into this England team now, it's just beyond. It's ridiculous. And you know what? If he's stupid enough to make the same mistake twice in one season, then that's on him. But that's not professional. Someone needs to get a grip of Luke Shaw, and it needs to come from the United side. Ten Hag should be on the phone to England right now saying, get this man back to Carrington right now. Don't even try it. We're 3 games in on Tuesday and he's not even been anywhere near the squad, let alone pushing the starting lineup. All we're going to do is play him when he shouldn't be played. And you know what's happening. You know the writing's on the wall with Luke Shaw and what'll happen when he's forced back. Them shit pitches that you've got out there in Germany, you can see it already. And that's him gone for the season. Then in come the excuses yet again. More injuries for United before we've even started next season. Let's not go there. Let's do the right thing. Let's get Luke Shaw back in Manchester. And let's forget about him even being fit. Southgate is an idiot for not picking another left back. An absolute clown for not going with someone else. You go with fit players. Have previous campaigns not told us anything about trying to force players back? Look, we tried it with Rooney, we tried it with Beckham. Fail. Forcing these players back when they're not fully ready. Pinning all of the country's hopes on players that you know cannot live up to the expectations. It's an absolute joke, and we've done it again. There are other left-backs out there in the Premier League that could have gone. Natural left-backs that are fully fit. Luke Shaw is not fit. He won't be fit for this tournament. And if you do try and force him into this team, you are going to find yourselves on the back end of a big fallout with the football club, being Manchester United, to be honest. It's an absolute joke. But yeah, you've got to look at also where Manchester United are at with this situation with Luke Shaw right now. What do we do? What decision do Manchester United make with Luke Shaw? Where do we go from here, really? Because we need to be bringing... You know what? It's crazy for me to even say this, but I have got more faith in a player that's not played all season in Tyrell Malacia being fit and available more for us next season than Luke Shaw, who's been at the club nearly 10 years. That's how confident I am in Luke Shaw getting fit again. Honestly, I think his career has been blighted by injuries, and it has hampered his progress, and it has hampered his whole time at Manchester United. We know this. And the problem you've got with Luke Shaw is, look, he wants to play, and unless someone gets a grip of him, and the rumours coming out about him not having an understanding about what's going on with Ten Hag and everything like that, it just doesn't look like he's actually got control of his own career right now, Luke Shaw. He seems to be in a bit of a mess, and for Manchester United to not take control of it, I think it's on the club. It's on Manchester United for not sorting this out. Because the simple thing would have been to just say, Luke, sorry, no. It's a simple no. We know where you're at. I don't care if you want to take Luke Shaw to the Euros to help him rehabilitate and recover. It's not right. Yeah, some people have said, look, Luke Shaw feels better going to England rather than staying back in Manchester to do his recovery. But to rest the nation's hopes of winning a trophy on a left-back that's not played for 4 months, that's ludicrous. It's stupidity. And you know what? It's perfect England. It's what it is. If there's anyone more stupid than United right now, it's England with injuries. Because again, we're taking a player that's not fit, that cannot play, and he's taking the place of somebody else. Luke Shaw, honestly, right now with United, I mean, guys, I'm going to put a poll up, actually. I just want to find out where you guys are at with this. 1 second, guys. Okay, poll is up. Luke Shaw, Manchester United career. Still a chance, or he's done? He done, even. Oh, sorry, I've missed out the S on the end of that one, but you know what I mean by it. I just think it's something that United need to be looking at. It's something that United need to look into now and go, right, where do we go with left back? Honestly, left back, I think United need to be giving serious consideration to. I know we've got Sarri Mas coming through the ranks with the youth team and the academy, but again, I don't want to pin all hopes onto a young lad that's got bags of talent coming through into the situation we're in right now, and everyone's looking at him to be the next best thing. It's not fair on a young academy player to come through and deal with that situation. So, yeah, honestly, I look at everything that's going on with Manchester United right now. I don't want a Mas coming through. I'd rather him go out on loan. I'd rather him learn his trade. I'd rather him get to a point where I can feel like it's comfortable for him to actually be in the Manchester United squad. But honestly, I still feel that we need to look at Malacia, see how he is, and then probably look into the transfer market. And this is where the problem comes. Have we got enough money to actually go out and buy another left back? We need another centre back. We need a midfielder. We need a striker. We've been talking about this the whole time. Luke Shaw, I cannot pin any more hopes on him, and I don't think we are going to be able to put our whole trust in Luke Shaw for the next season. Right, let's get into the chat. Getting said, he done. It is Adam. He done is how it is, Adam. I'm not sure what that means. Typo, maybe again. Shows how poor the Meds are letting him go. He works for us. Definitely on that one. Why let him go to England? He's a United player. He's a United employee. If you're not on top of Luke Shaw's injury situation right now, and you cannot completely 100% control the situation while he's out there, then why would you send him in the first place? It just does not make any sense at all. It does not. I can't believe Luke Shaw was allowed to go. Ineos are fools. Everyone's blaming Ineos again. The club allowed his British players to do what they want. Why didn't he do the same for the FA Cup final? Question mark. See why the English national team can't win anything. We're never going to win anything. We're never going to win anything. Not with Southgate as manager anyway. Yes, let me just see what else we've got in here. Shaw is busy eating Brockfursts. Just had a couple of them myself on a barbecue. Lovely. Shaw is going to be playing in pink boots next season. Christopher, what are you on about there? Shaw has been spotted in Asda. Adam. Okay. Richard said, dead right, ads. Is it not just worth United cutting their losses with Shaw? He is a great player when he is fit, but that ain't often enough. That's the problem you've got. How much can Luke Shaw offer to Manchester United? How much can he offer to the football team? Big up to you as well, Andrew, mates. Cheers, everybody. I actually got the time of the video wrong, guys. Sorry to mess everything up for everyone. I put the wrong hour in instead of... I put in 7 instead of 6, so I was going early tonight and ballsed it up. So apologies to anyone who I messed that up with at the start of the show. Shaw is done for me. Time to cash in and get a new young unknown. Shaw have been at the club for 9 years and only played 40% of that time, says Craig. The previous one was from Stu saying Shaw is done. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, guys. Keep them coming in. Keep your comments coming in on Luke Shaw. I want to know your opinion. Is it just time to let him go? We can't sell a player that's also always injured. Shaw is the new Martial. Apparently, his record is worse than Martial's, guys. That's bad. I've still got that sign that you lent me for the Man United protest ages ago. Andrew, legend, mate. Pin it up on the wall, mate. Fun fact, 44% of Shaw's time at Manchester United has been injured. Someone else has just picked that one up as well. It's gone from 40 to 44, though, so he's doing better already, according to the chat. Who is Martial? Shut up, Kaz. Yeah, but you look back at Luke Shaw's career at Manchester United, it's not always been bad, but it's always been a bad season in between a good one. He's like Marcus Rashford in performance level, but on the injury side of things, Luke Shaw. Last season, disaster. 15 games, as we just said. The season before, a good season, and this is what backed Ten Hag's claims up for the injury situation, is that he had 47 games last season, Luke Shaw. The season before that, though, 27. Another injury hit season. The season before that, guess what? 47. The one before that, 33. And then it goes down to 40. It's not consistent. There's always an issue with Luke Shaw on every other season. And he can't shake it. He can't shake it. He's a player that's just, I feel, cannot stay fit. Probably won't stay fit. And unfortunately, at 28, time starts to catch up with your recovery time, starts to become longer, and you end up never being available for a full season. You end up trying to force yourself back like he has done. He's trying to defy the normal recovery routine for a 28-year-old. He's trying to beat it effectively. Is what he's trying to do. And you've got to give him credit for wanting to get back and get play in, but that age that he is now, only less than 2 years away from hitting his 30s, with the amount of injuries that he's had and the types of injuries that Luke Shaw has had. Let's not forget that. It's just, you look at it and go, United need to look past him. You do. I don't think we'll be able to sell him, but you have to look past him. It's an emergency situation, left back at Manchester United. It is, because we weren't banking on needing a left back going into this season. Obviously, we've lost Alvaro Fernandez. He's been sold to Benfica. Malacia hopefully will be fit and gives us something. Like, Delo can play there, but naturally we want him on the right because we're probably going to end up selling Wan-Bissaka as well. So, really, I look at Luke Shaw and I would say, if United could, they need to get rid. They need to get rid. It's sad to say. A player on 9 years at the football club should be celebrated. But all anyone can look at is the amount of games that he's played and how much we've missed out rather than what we've got from Luke Shaw. That will always be Luke Shaw at Manchester United. There could have been. Rather than, wow, what he did. 9 years at a football club at Manchester United for 9 years. That's no mean feat. And it does show that the club have tried to get behind what was a absolute quality left-back in Luke Shaw, and he could have been the world's best. But injuries have absolutely finished him. Absolutely finished him. There are a lot of reports going on. They're just jumping onto the Simon Jones news that's at the bottom of your screen right now, guys, so don't be too carried away by it. Like I said at the top of the show, anyone who's reporting breaking news regarding Branthwaite or anything like that right now, take it for what it is, guys. I'm telling you straight. It's the Sunday papers, and we'll be talking about it, I'm sure, on the paper round tomorrow morning, that, Manchester United are ready in another bid for Branthwaite. I'd like to see more detail, and I'd like to see more people come in, rather than just a mail on this one regarding the new bid. Why we're putting a new bid in. Have we had word from Everton that we are going to be putting a new bid in? And really, how genuine this is and how much it is. Because we all know if it's a certain amount under 60 million that Everton are just going to say no. And how long are United going to waste? Like, we've already said that we're going to walk away if we don't get the bid dropped down. So why would Manchester United go in with a lower bid right now? If United are putting in another bid, then this has to be a bid that they are clear Everton are going to accept. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? They've already said, look, there's a mark. We can't go above. So if they've got any indication or inclination that Everton are willing to accept a certain price, I expect this to be this so-called bid that's going in. By the way, I don't think the bid's going in. I think it's just news that everybody's jumping on. And I think they're filling Sunday papers because England are shit and they've got nothing else to write about. I'm sorry. England are destroying the summer for me right now. And it does sound a little bit doom and gloom. So I'm on full-on realistic mode right now with what's actually happening. But yeah, Branthwaite and what's happening there is basically, yes, that. Apparently another bid, but there's been apparently another bid for the last, 10 days or something now? Yeah, honestly, I believe it when I see it with it. I believe it when I see it. The last time I really went into detail on Branthwaite, it was when personal terms were agreed with him. I can take that seriously. This, I'm sorry, I just don't take it seriously right now. And I will wait to be convinced is how I will put it when it comes to Branthwaite to Manchester United. That's how we'll leave that one. Let's just say that. Ratface is great at his job, but we now lost out on Elise because we tried lowballing Newcastle for Ashworth and lowballing on every single player. We're looking at the next lowballing free transfer. Manchester United, I'm going to tell you right now, we're never in for Elise. They may have communicated. I don't think there's a bid went in. United are not stupid enough to put a bid in after something's been agreed with Bayern Munich. Ineos wouldn't do that. So anyone reporting that or trying to put a slant onto Ineos on that. Look, I went in on Ineos earlier on today. Go watch that video of the up-to-date situation with Dan Ashworth, because I think we need to be looking at that rather than looking at players that we don't need going to other clubs. Let's just get real, guys. Elise was never coming to Manchester United. It was a pipe dream. We haven't got the money. We're not in the Champions League. That clause only kicked in for teams in the Champions League, by the way. Everyone keeps forgetting about it. It's not real. We were never in for him. We were never going to be able to afford him and never going to be able to convince him. He's a United fan. So bleeding what? How many fucking players are there across the world who support a certain club that don't end up going there? What everyone put together with this, and I've always backed it. Like, I would have loved Elise at the football club, but it is never going to happen. And you know what? It was stupid if it did. Because he wouldn't be guaranteed team. He wouldn't be guaranteed a place in the team. I know he's not going to get it at Bayern Munich, but let's be fair. Who is going to turn Bayern Munich down at that age? Realistically, who is going to? No one isn't. No one is. So, yeah, there you go. Sorry, only people that never liked Shaw would deny him a new contract when it was up for renewal. The options were Telles and Rojo. Context is required. He had another contract on top of that, though, Graham. I think that's what it was that people might be naffed off about. But like I said, it's hard to judge a player. When you go back from 2018 to 2019 with Luke Shaw, and this is going up into the seasons, catching up to where we are this season. So this is the last 6 seasons. So you can imagine a contract negotiations were involved within this period. It's hard to say whether or not a player is reliable injury-wise when you've got 40 appearances, 33 appearances, 47 appearances, 27, 47, 15. Last season was the end for a lot of United fans simply because Luke Shaw just had his worst season ever. Unfortunately for him, injuries, like I said, have just been his Achilles heel. Literally. His Achilles heel at Manchester United. It has battered him from pillar to post. So, yeah, honestly, I feel sorry for him. I do. I really do feel sorry for Luke Shaw because I think he is one of the best left-backs in the world. I do. I like Luke Shaw. I think he is a tough operator and a hard man to get past. I remember it, his first games, I was there when in Van Gaal's first season. Luke Shaw, he was excellent. I was in the stands watching him at Old Trafford. He was like an Italian defender. It's the ball or the player, not both of them pass. You know what I mean? One of them went down. He either took the ball or he took the player. That's how his game was when he first came on the scene as a teenager at United. A bleeding teenager. God, it's still mental how long he's actually been at the club and letting that sink in. But he has just been absolutely smashed to pieces. Literally smashed to pieces, the lad. And I hate to say what I'm saying, but again, in the situation we're in right now, I think Luke Shaw is staying at United, but we still need to go and buy a left-back. That's crazy. But that's where we're at. We could have a situation next season where Ineos go out and buy a left-back, and we end up with 3 left-backs all fighting for the same spot. And everyone's like, why did we waste our money on a left-back? Well, it's the uncertainty of our first choice left-back, Luke Shaw, that has caused all of this mess. That's the problem you've got. That is the problem you've got. Newcastle getting Calvin Lewis apparently finished Everton financial fair play problems. Why would you buy Calvert-Lewin? Is that he says Calvin Lewis? Is that Calvert Lewin, Richie Clubsport? It was only Jose, LVG, Poch all said the same thing about Shaw. Yeah, I mean, Jose's sort of stance on Luke Shaw still rings in a lot of fans' ears as well. Why do we always spend so much money on average English centre-backs? Since Rio Ferdinand, we haven't signed a world-class English centre-back since. Apparently Maguire was, though, Andrew. Adam, alcohol is a depressant. You need to drink more tea. You need to drink more tea. No, Graham, I don't. I already drink enough tea and coffee. I'm totally fine and feel completely on with what I'm saying right now, promise you. I don't rate him as highly as most United fans do. On Shaw, Everard was levels above him. Yes, he was. That was Everard, different era, different type of player. Very good player, but something about Luke Shaw's mentality is off. He's also one of those players who's been part of United's worst performances in recent years. Now, this is the bit that you need to look into with Luke Shaw as well. Like, he has been part of the problem crew. Like, he's been here a long time, and he's seen off all of the managers and had many complaints from a few managers as well. Let's not forget that. A few of you have picked up on the comments in the comment section on that as well regarding Luke Shaw. And Luke Shaw actually being one of these players. Now, I was sent a message the other day saying that Luke Shaw, obviously Mason Mount and Marcus Rashford are players that don't understand what Ten Hag wants from them. They don't understand their roles in the football club. I don't know if that's true, but I did a video a while ago, a few months ago, I think it was the back end of last year, about the players that have been at Manchester United over the years that have seen off all the managers that are still here now. When you're trying to find the issue players at Manchester United, Jose is a man to find a problem player. He found one in Pogba. He found one in Martial. He also called out Luke Shaw. Now, this is where the debate kicks in, and this is where the argument starts. Like, was Luke Shaw always a problem at Manchester United? Was he part of the big issue at the football club? Was he alongside the Pogbas of this world, the Rashfords of this world, Martials, the old guard that were just there, and they just seem to always hide behind a certain performance. Like, yeah, there you go, that's what we can do. And that's what they lived up to. And that's what the fans that supported these players always did. Season in, season out. It was a case of, that's why we keep him in the team. I told you. And what these fans were doing, they were talking about a player's performance in one single game, having waited 6 bleeding weeks for nothing, of absolute zero performance from this player, to just say, look, that's what he can do. That's why we need to stand by him and keep him in the team. And that's been the mentality of these fans, and that's been the acceptance of them. And you know what? Some of the players have played up to it. And you get the likes of Bruno Fernandes coming along, who everyone moans about because he's so petulant and because he wants to win all the time and try and get anything he possibly can. Do you know what? Like I said before, give me 11 Bruno Fernandes on that pitch and his attitude, and Manchester United would not be in the problem we're in, or having any of the problems we're having right now. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That would be the situation we're in right now. But we're unlucky in the fact that we had the structure and we had the hierarchy and the regimes that have been above these managers that have all failed. You do start to look back at some of the managers and go, maybe it was more the players, not the manager. And Luke Shaw falls into that category. I cannot help but feel sorry for Luke Shaw still, though, even when I'm talking about this. And it was a case of always looking back and going, if he didn't have that broken leg, if he did not break that leg on the Van Gaal, where would Luke Shaw be? I still think he would have been one of the best left-backs on the planet. I do. Because I think he would have helped LVG. LVG might have lasted a little bit longer at the football club. And let's not forget, Van Gaal was getting results out of certain players. As much as I bitched and moaned about the man, he was getting something out of these players. But when managers change and players realise that they can bend the rules and can get around certain things and they can just manipulate the football club in different ways, it carries on and it looks infectious, doesn't it? It looks infectious to these players from the outside, and they feel like they can get away with certain things. And I think they have, a lot of them, taken advantage of the club's demise and the club's poor running. Like, the agents have had a field day at Manchester United. We talked about this the other day. Like a blast from the past in Kia Jarabdin coming through with the Joshua Zirkzee deal. Like, these agents and these players of the modern Manchester United have just taken us for a ride, I feel. And the ones that have lost out are the fans, because some of the fans have fallen for it as well. And Luke Shaw divides opinion like bleeding. Like, he's up there with the Marcus Rashfords of this world, Scott McTominay. He was there with the Martials. Funny enough, it's these players again that have always been there and been there longer than any other. But the fan base is completely always split. Like, I can see people in the chat right now, and I guarantee it's 50-50 on Shaw's career. The poll right now, and what we're saying, is Luke Shaw done at United? Does he still have a chance? Like, 30% of you think he's still got a chance. 70% say no, he's done. But if I asked the same question like on Luke Shaw's career at Manchester United, I bet it'd be a 50-50 split with the fan base as to saying, you know what, he was a quality player. He wasn't. He wasn't always there. That's the problem. When he played, yeah, all right. But no. Into the chat we go. Let's go. On point as usual. Love your shows. You'll always get a like from me. Babs, love that. Babs, if you can get the description, we need to get you on TIFO for one of the watch-alongs if we can. So if you are listening, Babs, and still there, drop in the description of this video and get onto TIFO, Babs. We need to get you on there, get you back having your say again. Luke Shaw should have been given Luke Shaw should not have been given a new contract. Should have been sold. Once the new contract was signed, the performance dipped and injuries became even more frequent. It's the new Martial. That from DYL5 Dills, I'm guessing. Vasson says, unfortunately, United has no say in the matter. As long as Luke Shaw has not retired from international football, FIFA and UEFA rules dictate that he has to make himself available if selected. No, wrong, Vasson. He's not fit. And this was a decision that England made off the back of him not playing for 4 months. This is different. If he has been selected, yes, you're right on that side, but he's selected knowing that he's injured. And that's where England are wrong, and where that whole conversation takes on a whole different life, mate. That's the problem you've got. Yes, you can look at the rule book. Yes, you can look at UEFA and FIFA, and you have to go. That's fair enough. I understand that completely. But when you're not fit, that's when the club steps in and says, look, honestly, Luke Shaw is not available. He's not available. He will not be able to contribute to England. You have to take somebody else who can give more. What is the point in ruining a player like that? And what is the point in taking something away from another player that could have been playing for England right now? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ludicrous. It's everything that I've said in the start of this show. It's an absolute sham, a joke. And this is England and this is United. It's like the national team and the biggest team in England completely ballsing this situation up between them. Oh, man, it's no wonder we're both underbleeding performing. Oh, God. I didn't think he was good enough when he was at Southampton. I thought he was, mate. I've seen him play for Southampton against us, and I thought he was decent. Martial was good under LVG. Yep, that's because LVG put his arm around him and made him number one. As soon as competition came in for Martial, he went high and bitching and crying, spitting dummies out, bleeding everywhere. Guys, please give the video a like. We're almost at the 100 mark. I know it's an awkward time. But thank you again. Like, in between games and the Euros is always awkward, but I really appreciate you joining in, guys. Adam, football wise, Jose believes Shaw was not good enough. His mentality, being a winner. It's the same as Rashford. Like I said before, Jose picked out a couple of situations with players and nobody jumped onto it, and he didn't get backed by the football club. I guarantee you, if Ten Hag, even under the old regime of Murto and Arnold, had a problem with a player, he'd have got more support than what Jose did. Because the one thing that Arnold and Murto did do, and I've called them out enough, I still think they're inadequate and were absolutely shit at the job. But what they did try and do was change the culture at Manchester United, and they were the ones that tried to change the way things were run under Woodward. They were the start of trying to make things different. Arnold completely went over the top with it, though, when he went and had that drink with the supporters at his local pub. That was just like, desperation that to try and convince the fans that we were pushing in the right direction, and then United were willing to put their hand in the pocket. It wasn't. It was coming off a credit card, which the fans basically have had to pay for now because the season tickets are going up for the first time in God knows how many years, just to try and pay this debt back. And this is where they fell down. But they still would have backed Ten Hag on the player situation. Guarantee it. Ed Barrett says, the one good quality I saw in Luke Shaw was that he complimented Rashford nicely. Considering the fact that I want Rashford gone, Luke Shaw is done for me. This was the thing. Cheers for the 100 likes as well, guys. Legends, immense effort from you guys at this time of the day in between all of the football going on. Love you all. I hated the Luke Shaw Rashford thing. Like, honestly, Ten Hag clung on to that as well this season so much. Talking about Rashford's performances because Luke Shaw wasn't there. And this is a man that everyone's saying that should be at the World Cup right now, making a difference. At the Euros, making a difference. Well, Luke Shaw's not at the bleeding Euros. So what's Rashford going to do there? Again, cover up and excuses. I don't want to hear it. I want action. I want tough decisions being made. And I don't know if we're going to make them. Luke Shaw is a big one. He's got, I probably think, in Ineos's eyes, and I'm looking at it from their side now, one more season to try and convince them that he's worth keeping on. 2027, his contract is up. At the end of next season, he's got 2 more years to go. He's got 3 years left on his contract now. If he was going to sell him and someone wanted him, now would be a good time, or next season would be a good time to sell him. But who in their right mind is going to buy a 28/29-year-old? Actually, let me just check when Luke Shaw actually turns 29. Yeah, he's 29 next month, guys. So going into the season, Luke Shaw is going to be 29. And for him to have come on the scene when he did, at left back at the age of, 17, 18, make it to United, get his first cap, to only have 31 caps for England in that period of time playing at the top level in the Premier League, tells you everything you need to know as well. And it's a horrible thing to say, but Luke Shaw really has got away with it a little bit, hasn't he? Like, great player, unfortunate with injuries, but has always just managed to do enough to stay around and relevant. Again, I feel crap saying it, I do, because I'll always feel sorry for him, because I like Phil Jones, fed up of him completely, but not of him, just of his injuries and his career. Like, any player that gets injured a lot, I hate them, but I don't hate them in a way. It's just I hate the situation. I'm sick of it. Like, we want the best, and we want to see the players out on the pitch, but some players are just in that category that, look, it's just not going to happen. It isn't going to happen. And you know what? It's not going to happen for Luke Shaw either. He's just going to be one of them players that suffers and suffers and suffers. And unfortunately, I think he's going to end up costing Manchester United. And I just wish that the club had took charge of this situation and not embarrassed us even more. Because I think this is embarrassing for both England and Manchester United, the situation that we're in right now with Luke Shaw. He needs to come back home. England's not bringing it home, but United need to bring Luke Shaw home. That's a fact. He needs to be not forced into a situation where he is playing when he shouldn't be playing. And I feel like that is what is going to happen with Luke Shaw. 100%. If he plays anything in this tournament, I fear for his fitness and I fear for him picking up another injury. It's not the right environment for him to be playing. It really isn't. And I hope that England and United realise this. Southgate will be realising right now what a mistake he's made. I mean, the shit that came out of his mouth after the performance against Denmark was unbelievable. How you can actually say we haven't found a natural replacement for bleeding... oh, God, what's he called? The bleeding central midfielder now? Is that irrelevant? I forgot his name. Jesus, someone come to me in a minute. City midfielder, went on loan at West Ham. God, like, why has his name left me? His name completely gone and it's left me. Someone will tell me in the chat in a second, but you know what I mean. That's it, Calvin Phillips. Yeah, like, shut up. fuck off. Basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, Southgate. Gareth, shut up right now. Talking absolute shit. That is an embarrassment to midfielders. We haven't managed to deal with Henderson and Calvin Phillips. What? Oh, God. You've got some of the best central midfielders on the planet in your team. I'm sorry. And this is a guy that's, oh, God. Like, his excuse for not beating Denmark and having issues in midfield was not having Calvin Phillips available. Fuck off, Gareth. Honestly. Adam Stott is not a great player. Great players do things consistently in a very good way. Yeah, Craig, he has been hit by injuries, though. Look, I know what you're saying. I do. And that's why I said, and look, I feel like I've balanced that out completely there. Could have given him his due, and I've gone against him as well. And look, I've said he's got away with it. He has got away with it, Luke Shaw. I've seen what Luke Shaw can do, and I know that he could have been great. But I think we knew after the injury that it was all over for him. He just had that feeling. Loads of season ticket holders think that Garnacho is a good footballer when I don't rate him. Andrew, he is a good footballer, but that's your opinion, mate, and you're welcome to it, my friend. Not everybody sees everything that players do, that fans do in certain players. That is a full-on debate which is going to go on forever and a day in terms of players, how we rate players, who is worth it, who is worth keeping, who is worth the wages, who is worth the value, everything like that. That debate and that argument amongst Manchester United fans will go on forever and a day. And there is a divide in the fan base amongst match-going fans and people who watch it from further afield. Like, everyone is as equal as a fan, but everyone does see it differently. And I have found that match-going fans do see the game differently to the people that watch it, say, for instance, at home. It is. And it's not easy when you come out of the ground. And we do it all the time, and I try to do it on this channel where we get fans speaking straight from the heart right after the game, what they watched. And the emotion of the game completely takes you over. Like, the truest thought and the realistic views of anyone is right after a game. People say, well, just let it settle. Let the dust settle and then look back on it. And I hate people that do this and say this. Let it all just calm down and come back and watch it again and then give you a second opinion again. No. You know what you've seen. You've seen a player give up on a situation. You've seen a player bottle out a 50-50. You know what you've watched. Then you've got people convincing you that you're wrong and you need to watch it back again just to see. No, you need to watch the game back just to convince yourself that you were right in certain situations, and you usually are, because what you see on the pitch is usually the same as it is on TV, only at the pitch side you do see a lot more of what the players do off the ball, what you don't on TV, and that overshadows quite a lot, because then you see the real effort from the players and what they've got inside them. And you know what, most of the time in a Manchester United shirt, especially over the last 10 years, it hasn't been anywhere near enough. So yeah, that's just my opinion on that one. But yeah, it is. I feel like the reactions and the opinions straight after the game are the more realistic ones than anything else. Just to top off everything that we've been talking about, guys, Luke Shaw, the situation. Manchester United have made it clear their stance on Luke Shaw is that they were happy for him to go and carry on his rehabilitation with the England squad while out in Germany. They're in continuous communication with the England medical team. But the problem we've got is Luke Shaw is still not fit to play a game. He's still not fit to train with the first team squad. And the third game is coming up. So what happens when Luke Shaw is fit? Are you just going to throw him straight into his first game in nearly 4.5 months in a knockout situation in the major international tournament on them shit pitches in Germany, threatening his fitness again ahead of the season? Ten Hag needs to be on the phone right now to that England squad, to Gareth Southgate, get Luke Shaw back home right now. Like, Ten Hag's career is hanging in the balance right now at Manchester United. If I'm him, I am absolutely apoplectic. I'm going mental that Manchester United are letting Luke Shaw go. Like, what people have said, Luke Shaw has to go if he's fit and he's been selected. No issue with that. The guy's not fit. We knew he wasn't fit. And now the England medical staff have proved that he's not fit because he's still not training with the first team squad 2 weeks into the bastard tournament. So I'm not having it. It's a joke and he needs to be back home. It's as simple as that for me. Guys, you're all absolute legends. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry for the start again and getting the time wrong and throwing everyone off. My mistake completely. I appreciate you all jumping back in as well, though, guys. I know there's football going on everywhere and you're all getting your football fix. Hopefully you're enjoying the weather, some nice food, a few drinks. That's what we've been doing this afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow with a paper round to go over everything in a little bit more detail as to what's going on. Because let's not forget, the stories regarding Branthwaite all mainly come from the Sunday papers, guys. You'll start getting them stories leaked on a Saturday night. And then we go into the Sunday and everyone's revved up like, what is going on? Let's get the Sunday papers straight away. It's an advertising ploy. Don't fall for it. We have been reported to be putting in another bid for Branthwaite. There's been about 8 different publications through the whole week saying the same thing. So don't get drawn into Branthwaite's bids going in. Wait for the details. If there's details on it that Manchester United have got an indication from Everton that they're going to lower that asking price and they're happy to go in for a second bid, expect that second bid to be accepted. Otherwise, what is the whole point of Manchester United going for Branthwaite and coming out with that statement saying we need something in the next 24 to 48 hours about Everton lowering that price tag? That's where we're out of it. That's the reality of the situation. And guys, I'm going to go and grab myself another drink. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to put my feet up. I'm going to chill and hopefully see Belgium go out of the Euros. I doubt it. I think they'll win tonight. But hey, how good were Portugal? Bruno. Whoa, what a player. What a player. And you know what? Hats off to Pepe. 41. What a man. Jesus. Guys, in the description is the link to TIFO, our watch-along platform. Please, please do come on that platform, watch the games with us, get involved. If you like watch-alongs, that's the place to be. I bring people on in the chat. It's not just one man's voice, it's everybody's voice, and that's the beauty of what we do on there. It's about a community, and it's about everyone getting involved and having a good old chinwag and a drink while we watch the footy. Love it. Guys, legends, a lot of you. Please give the video a like on the way out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share the video if you like as well. Let's get more people in on the chat. Get your debate going on in the chat, in the comments below, guys, when the video is finished. I want to know, Luke Shaw, in or out? Is it time that United just cut ties? Let me know. Until then, guys, tomorrow morning...